Get away. Stay the hell away from our kids.
Good news, kids. You can take a summer fun time vacation where you're locked in a car for 10 consecutive days, nonstop with no bathroom breaks, and the Conservatives have a plan for you to have that summertime fun. And the cost? Give up the future of the planet, right? Don't worry, kids, about climate change. Don't worry about taking action on the planet. Enjoy your 10 hours in the car and let the planet burn.
You know, I had an opportunity for my mom's 80th birthday to be away and be in the Olympics and be able to watch Canadians compete. I had an opportunity to watch a movie that I thought was a good idea to watch with my stepchild called Bring It On. It's from the year 2000. You watch that movie, you want to go back to that, right? Like, you watch that movie, you go, what was wrong with us? So we've come a long way.
Minister Holland, in your mind, is having made solely for mental illness a foregone conclusion at some point? Is that the destination we're going to get to?
It's my belief for folks who have an irreversible, irremediable mental illness from which they've sought all treatment and have been able to get no relief in many cases for decades, that eventually, when the system is ready, that people in that irremediable circumstance should have access to MAID.
Thank you for that. How do you propose to get systems ready with the two outstanding issues of suicidality and irremediability?
Well, so suicidality is an issue that's completely separate and apart.
You talked about suicidality being an incidental thing, but realistically, it's part of the diagnosis of many mental illnesses. Is that not true?
Well, I don't, as somebody who suffered greatly and spoken publicly about my own mental health challenges, I do not believe that suicidality is at all incidental. Folks who are having a mental health crisis.
That was not the question I asked you. What I asked you specifically is suicidal ideation is an important part of the diagnosis of many mental illnesses. That's correct, is it not?
Yeah.
Simple question.
Yes, if you are mentally ill,
Thank you very much.
then
so
that
how do you
absolutely
expect
can be present.
then, Minister, to get systems ready when suicidal ideation is a part of the illness that you're talking about? That doesn't make any sense.
But look, it's a lot easier to sell fear. It's a lot easier to say, doesn't things suck?
And what we know clearly with irremediability with respect to mental illness is that it's impossible to prove. There's many cases, you perhaps being one of them, who have gotten better from mental illness.
Doesn't it feel awful? And just to wallow in that. And that's what Pierre Poilievre offers, an opportunity to wallow. What I think we're seeing in different parts of the world is really an ignition of hope again.
And here we are today talking about irremediability, and we know that those two things, suicidality and irremediability, in no way are related to systems.
Well, irremediable means that you aren't able to remedy it. So it means that it doesn't get better. A mental health crisis is something you can get out of. Mental illness,
Minister,
where it's irremediable, means it can't be remediated.
Not mine. Is diabetes irremediable?
Well, I mean,
simple question.
Is diabetes? No. It's diabetes is diabetes is manageable as a disease.
Mental illness is not manageable. Is that what you're saying?
There are certain mental illnesses that you would acknowledge and you've talked to doctors. I've talked to doctors. There's certain mental illnesses that people have not been able to escape.
Diabetes,
just as there's cancer.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, point of order.
Point of order from Ms. Sidhu.
Mr. Chair, I just want to say the last panel we said rules should be followed and without interruption, please.
Look, it's fine, Mr. Chair. Can I just make this point very briefly? Cancer is irremediable. It ends in death, and it is irremediable. I mean, trying to make an equivalency between multiple different illnesses is I don't understand the point.
Last time, Sean.
Okay, Mr. Holland, you have, go ahead, Dr. Ellis. You've got another minute and 20 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. If I might remind you, Minister, I'm the one asking the questions, and if I have a question for you, as per the part of this committee, you need to answer it. The second part that we need to get to clearly is that this particular program that you have has a lack of safeguard.
Minister, there are no legislative safeguards.
Well, you can say that.
Well,
I mean,
you haven't
your
cited
theater.
one. You haven't
continue
cited
to play.
any.
Yes.
You haven't cited any, and you haven't responded to the fact that 78% of Ontario psychiatrists believe that whatever so-called safeguards that will be in place are completely insufficient. We're talking about wrongful deaths when there's an inappropriate application of MAID. That's what we're talking about.
So we're talking here in this legislation
is what you've demonstrated is that
we're taking
ideological.
First of all, I'm just going to say I reject.
You're playing with people's lives.
I reject that totally. I reject
it's absolutely disgraceful.
No, what is disgraceful is mischaracterizing my position or mischaracterizing the position of any member of Parliament, sir. Saying that any member of Parliament doesn't care about any human life is a disgraceful thing that I will not tolerate. And for you to step into this committee and make an accusation of any member of Parliament that they do not care about the life of another human being is absolutely beyond reproach, sir. I have spent my entire life, as you have, fighting for the good in this world. And for you to accuse a good person of not caring about human life, shame on you. Shame on you.
The Honourable Mark Holland, Minister of Health. L'Honourable Mark Holland, Ministre de la Santé.
The federal government continuing to roll out its national dental care plan for uninsured Canadians.
Your teeth nice and shiny and clean.
This senior pays nearly $200 each month for private dental insurance. He'd hoped soon he wouldn't have to, thanks to Canada's new national dental care plan. But
when I checked in, it says I wouldn't be eligible because I had access to a dental plan, even though I pay for it myself. I'm thinking, well, what's the difference here,
To qualify, you cannot have access to private dental insurance through your employer, your pension, an organization, or a plan you've purchased.
And I'm thinking, well, what's the difference here,
Last December, we created the Canada Dental Benefit.
The NDP Liberal Coalition have announced another poorly conceived federal idea. Their dental care debacle is failing Canadians. I have one simple question. How many dentists in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI have signed up for the dental care debacle?
The Honourable Minister of Health. Well, it's great news, Mr. Speaker, because unlike the member opposite, we're working with dental providers and we're opening up a new portal, which means that in order to participate, all they have to do is accept that dental card and provide service. And the dentists that I'm talking to, as we work through these issues of the negotiation, are extremely excited to do what the member is not, which is to make sure that every Canadian from coast to coast to coast gets oral health care. And that means 1.8 million seniors and soon 9 million Canadians who will have the oral health care that they need.
I ask the honourable member from Oxford, please, to allow his colleague to ask a question, allow the minister to answer. The honourable member from Cumberland Colchester.
Well, interesting enough, the Minister of Health of the NDP Liberal government has been singing the praises and photo ops of this program for months now. Their plan is lacking and it's failing Canadians. One simple question, once again, to the minister. How many dentists in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI have signed up for the botched care announcement? I'll actually give him the answer. It's 8 out of 1,107.
I asked you about, I'm running Winnipeg. You were saying that there's potentially like a interim, something else that dentists can do to sign up. Can you explain that a little more in detail?
Not yet. Soon.
Ready?
The dentist in
Yep.
Oh, there you go. You did awesome, eh?
It's fun.